Hey, I'm back, and probably got a whole bunch more content coming to you guys, but first and foremost, even more importantly, long live the king. Godzilla King of the Monsters, a week after I saw it. So there's kind of two schools of thought on what this movie's about. There's the human plot and the monster plot. I'm going to go with the monster plot because it's a lot simpler and it's more interesting, to be honest. Because of some human tampering, King Ghidorah is now awake and he is challenging Godzilla for his position as Alpha Titan or Kaiju, whatever you want to say. And Godzilla's not too happy about that, so of course they must fight for their right to party. Now that that's out of the way, let's talk about just how many kaiju there are in this movie. I'm talking Godzilla, King Ghidorah, Rodan, Mothra, and some other ones that are unnamed and unimportant. There's some Kong Easter eggs, so that's pretty cool. But it's like, people complained a lot that there wasn't enough Godzilla on screen in general, not enough of him fighting other titans, and it just wasn't a proper Godzilla movie without any of that stuff. And Warner was like, watch this. We can fix it. And I wouldn't even call this a case of sequelitis, because typically sequelitis is like, let's do more of what the people liked last time because we know it'll hold their attention. It's more, let's listen to the audience, because chances are if we don't promise them this, they won't come see our second movie. So good on you, Warner. Never thought I'd say that. Also, you can tell that this movie's directed by somebody else, because the monster-on-monster action is a lot more fast-paced, more kinetic than it was last time. Like, it used to be like they were really slow and chunky because they're giant monsters. So, like, what is it? Frame of reference, if you're tiny and you're looking at that, to them they're moving in regular speed, but because we're smaller, we see them as moving in slow motion. Not this time. They're moving just as fast as you would expect, like, Conor McGregor and Khabib Nurmagomedov to move, and it's a little jarring, but you get used to it because, I mean, the fight moves faster. Who doesn't want that? I've also heard complaints that the fighting is too claustrophobic, like you can't see enough of the fight to take it in at once, and I'm just like, I disagree. I was able to keep track most of the time. The only times I really wasn't was when there were like multiple monsters on screen at the same time. That's when it got a little hectic. But apart from that, I was pretty much always able to tell what was going on. Maybe I'm just watching movies a different way than everybody else. Also, I just want to say, this is probably the best Godzilla movie the West has ever put out. Not that that's an insanely high bar to clear, but I mean, it's impressive. I actually kind of liked the last Godzilla movie. I don't know. I like Bryan Cranston and Aaron Taylor Johnson. Also, Aaron Taylor Johnson was a bit of a tool in the last movie, so in this movie we have the new guy, and he's like a freaking genius and everything. Like, he's interrupting people, like telling them how to do their jobs or whatever. And he's like, I know more about this than you do because I got a tragic backstory. And it's really corny, but I mean, you got to move the plot forward. And I honestly don't care too much about the plot of a Godzilla movie. I just need you to get me from fight scene to fight scene. I know I'm judging this movie differently than I judge other movies, but the fact is, it's a Godzilla movie that's not from Japan. I'm not expecting a Shakespearean story. I don't want Metal Gear Solid levels of plot from a Devil May Cry game. I mean, come on now. Surprisingly enough, I saw other complaints that there wasn't enough like city destruction in this movie, which is insane because the final fight takes place in Boston, Massachusetts, home of the Red Sox, Bruins, Celtics, Revolution, and Patriots. But hey, also, I have a theory. Rather, I've come to a realization. This is very recently. We live in a culture where, in the West, we complain when, in superhero movies, there's too much damage done to heavily populated areas. It didn't start with the Avengers. It actually started with Man of Steel, because in the Avengers, there was an attempt to evacuate the city before things got too bad. The recourse from that didn't really show up into our heads until 2016's Captain America Civil War. But in Man of Steel, cities were Metropolis pretty much got flattened. Buildings were coming down, people were getting hurt, and they showed a lot more of that in Batman vs. Superman. And I'm pretty sure more people got hurt in that movie. But that's why Warner has chosen to course correct. That's why the final act of Justice League takes place in almost not Chernobyl, where there's nobody there to get hurt. So I think that since this is also owned by Warner, their realization is that they need to minimize damage or potential damage done to civilians in all their movies. This isn't the first time Warner will have done something like this. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just saying it makes sense if I worked at Warner. Take that however you will. Honestly, though, I love this movie. It's chaotic, it's fun, it's perfect, it's action-packed, it's corny in all the right ways. I enjoyed it a lot, and I will say Godzilla King of the Monsters is absolutely worth buying on Blu-ray, and I will, so that I can watch it before Godzilla vs. Kong comes out next year. But Godzilla King of the Monsters, have you seen it? You probably have by now. What did you think about it? Did you like it? Did you enjoy it? Whatever it is, whatever you think, educate me in the comments. And before I go, I just want to say, I've been gone for a little while, I know, but while I've been gone, I've thought about a lot of videos that I want to do. I'm going to do a lot of different varied content. I'm going to bring back like how to make a good video, a good movie about this character. I'm going to bring back story time, like I said before, but I didn't actually do it. I'm going to do some tier videos, like ranking tiers, because that seems to be a popular thing nowadays. I'm going to do some rant videos, because I haven't done one in a while. I promise, more varied content in the future, now that I'm able to do so. Also, I want to thank you guys for your support. I mean, I've been gone for like 2 weeks by this point, and I've gained like 100 subscribers in the time, and I don't want to get all gushy on you guys at the end of a Godzilla review, but I just really do appreciate you and all your support. It's been a lot of fun doing this for you guys for the last year, so that's it for now, at least. I'm gonna wink. No, I'm not. Or will I?